and use your time wisely. You know, have a plan, have a goal. What is it? What are the steps that you're going to take on a monthly, quarterly, bi-monthly phase to reach that goal? And then break it down into action steps and just keep going with it. You know, so many of our clients, they come to us and say, oh, but I've tried this and it didn't work, and I tried that and it didn't work. And one of the first things I ask them is, well, how long did you try it for? Oh, you know, I tried it for about 3 days and I just wasn't getting any leads. Or I tried it for about a week and nothing was happening. And they stopped. Now, yes, absolutely, they're right. It wasn't working exactly how they wanted it to work. But does that mean you stop? Or does it mean you either test it a little bit longer if it was an unrealistic time frame? Or do you go back and just tweak it slightly and make minor adjustments? Because when you make minor adjustments to something, actually over the long term, it can have massive results. It's like the degrees of a clock. You know, if you move from midnight to 1 o'clock, the hands are only moving that much. But as you go wider and wider and wider, that space gets that much bigger. So it's really important to remember that if something isn't working straight off the bat, don't stop it completely. Assess it, have a look, see if there are any elements that are working and focus on those elements and build on those. But don't necessarily stop, because you need to give things time to work. But you also need to make changes quickly. Speed of implementation is very, very important. But I said changes, not stop. I think that's the key.
I think that's so interesting. I think we understand that, I guess, theoretically. I think that when it comes to the business, I think that we do sometimes suffer from overwhelm. I think we really want to see results super quickly. And then, yeah, we flutter around and try that and try that and try that, because we are just feeling a little bit unsure, insecure, imposter syndrome setting in, you know, just lots of things going on. And and I think that's also where, you know, a company like Vitality and having that mentorship and support is so important. I think just being pulled back into shape, because as I say, it's not rocket science. We do know that. We theoretically understand that we should give something time and test it out. But we just sometimes struggle as humans. I think it's a normal human condition. And that's where, yeah, and that's where it's just so great to know that we have, you know, people like you out there to support us. So thank you.
Oh, pleasure. Yeah, I mean, find someone who's got your back, someone who can give you honest opinion. Friends and family aren't always the best for that. They sometimes tell you what you want to hear, or they want to spare your feelings, and they might not necessarily have the same business outlook that you have. But find someone who does, who's going to be honest with you, give you the right answers. Someone you can. Sometimes you just need a sounding board. You don't necessarily need someone's opinion. You just need to say it out loud, and you're able to come to your own conclusions. But also it goes back to what I said when we started this webinar. A lot of the time our gut is screaming very, very loudly to us. Hone in on that. You know, there's a lot of people who over the generations have learned to ignore their gut feeling, or they don't recognize what it feels like. You know, listen to it. It's not wrong. I mean, have you ever heard anyone say, oh, I wish I'd ignored my instinct? It just doesn't. It doesn't happen. So, exactly. So, you know, if you're ever in doubt as to whether something's working, or you need an answer or clarification, just ask yourself, ask your gut, how does it feel? Does it feel right or not? And if it doesn't feel right, you know, chat with someone about it, air it out, and you might get to the reason why. And that way, then you can make the changes that you want to make.
I think sometimes, I think also on that note is that I don't think that people, myself included, I don't think we spend enough time introspectively just thinking about things in our business. I think we're often just reacting and doing, which is fine. I understand that can happen. But I think, you know, just sitting in the garden, writing in a journal, it's not about the journaling, and it's not about the life coach side of the journaling where, you know, everyone encourages you to journal and meditate. It's about really, the answers are in here. It's about just deciphering what's in here, putting it out on a piece of paper, coming up with whether it's a personal solution or a professional solution. I feel that people just don't give themselves that time. And it's really quite simple. It's sit down in a corner, journal, and you'll be surprised how many, solutions you'll come up with.
How much clarity.
You are right. Yeah, you are absolutely right. It's the situation that entrepreneurs face a lot of the time is that as their businesses grow and get busier and their teams grow and their client base grows, your day is dominated with the day-to-day. And that's when you're working in the business. You're using every hour and every resource and every bit of energy that you have managing that day-to-day part of the business. What you're talking about of that introspective look and journaling and taking that time out is working on your business. A lot of entrepreneurs don't know the difference. A lot do, of course, but there are a lot of starting out entrepreneurs that don't know the difference. They think being busy actually is the answer, and it isn't always. You need to dedicate that time to work on your business. Put it in your diary the same way you would put a client meeting in there, or this webinar or something like that. Dedicate the time. It's non-negotiable, whereby you are working on your business. Because when you don't have it in the diary, there'll always be something to do. There'll be an email to answer, a blog post, a Instagram account that you follow that you look for inspiration. There will always be things that will fill up your day. So before you fill up your day, dedicate the time to say, right, you know what, on Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 till 11, I'm going to work on my business. And that comes down to analysis, goal setting, writing an action plan, looking at strategies, things like that, revisiting your business model.
So that actually leads me, as we begin the conclusion of our webinar event, that leads me beautifully into the weekend sort of workshop that Amanda and I are planning. We are planning a 2 to 3 day, so a 1 or 2 night excursion somewhere in the surrounds of Dubai. So we will send you guys, the participants and people that registered for this event, some more information on that. We will be carving out proper time where we can chat about your business, talk to each other, talk to some peers, network, connect, grow, learn, play a little bit, have some fun. So stay tuned for that.